Andrew Neil has warned any Brexit deal involving dynamic alignment could see European Union bosses force the UK into following the bloc's rules by threatening to impose trade tariffs. The former BBC political presenter said under a dynamic alignment deal, the EU would have the powers to insist the UK kept up with its evolving standards or face punitive consequences. Boris Johnson today ruled out signing up to any agreement with the EU which involved such constraints. And Mr. Neil said he doubted any British government could ever agree to it. He tweeted, EU's negotiating position has never been scrutinized by GB media. More often just lionized. Dynamic alignment. EU insists that if it brings in new rules and we don't follow suit, then it has right unilaterally to impose tariffs without recourse to independent arbitration. UK would have no right to impose retaliatory tariffs. Nor would there be any kind of quid pro quo if we introduced new rules. EU would be under no obligation to follow suit. I doubt any British government could agree to that. Earlier, Mr. Johnson's spokesman said the UK will not enter an agreement that involved dynamic alignment. He insisted Britain remained committed to trying to bridge differences with the EU but would not accept any deal that does not respect its sovereignty. The spokesman said, "We're determined not to leave any route to a fair deal untested, which is why we've asked the negotiators to continue to negotiate today and tomorrow." European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has admitted it will now be difficult to reach a post-Brexit trade agreement and ordered officials to ramp up planning for no deal. Speaking at an EU leaders summit today, Mrs. von der Leyen said, "I had a very long conversation yesterday night with Prime Minister Boris Johnson. It was a good conversation but it is difficult. We are willing to grant access to the single market to our British friends, it is the largest single market in the world. But the conditions have to be fair. They have to be fair for our workers and for our companies, and this fine balance of fairness has not been achieved so far." The EU leaders were being updated by Ms. von der Leyen on the progress, or lack of it, during the summit in Brussels. Some say for their talks today between UK negotiator Lord Frost and his opposite number Michel Barnier gave at least a glimmer of hope for a deal. Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin said an agreement was within reach. He said, "It makes sense to get a trade deal. I am very aware of the difficulties around a level playing field, the dispute resolution mechanism and fisheries. I didn't expect a breakthrough last evening. I think the fact that they met for quite a lengthy period of time and that frank exchange of views in itself is a good thing, and the fact that the negotiators are mandated to go back in again and try to break the logjam.